number 4 in a moment. I am FXOStrelok. Welcome in. Starting over here at the top right side of GSL and Tomb Valley, we're going to have the yellow Zerg for FXO Gaming from Belarus. It is Lowly. His opponent down at the bottom right side, close by air. His teammate from FXO, it is going to be the Red Terran from Ukraine, Strelok. Cool. I need to like call the GSL the GOM guy that does the Capcom voices, the Street Fighter voices. FXOStrelok. Yeah, don't worry. My awesome exhaustion kicking in. It's always one of those. It turns into a little bit more of a fun cast because I'm like a little bit like spacey, a little bit loopy sometimes. So I miss like some of the action, but it does become a little bit funner. So. The commentary itself. Now, as we see, we're going into game number 4. Strelok has taken the past 2 games, playing a very strong mech style. We're really watching and seeing how the Blue Flame Hellion and some of these timing pushes by Strelok really utilizing to his advantage and able to actually just do so much. Lowly, both of the past couple of games, decided to take a lot later second base, be very safe on 2 base, rather than get a little bit greedy and work on his economy, try to establish a quick 3 base economy. So it's kind of not really paid in his favor, as we saw in game 2. Not only did he sit on a 2 base, he didn't get his infestors out in time before the 1-0 Blue Flame Hellions came and rolled up to his front door and able to scorch the whole earth around him. So hopefully we'll see maybe a little bit of a turnaround, take this best of 5 to its complete end and ace match, if you want to call it, to game number 5. Or we might have FXOStrelok just, say enough is enough. I'm sick of Zerg. We're going to end the series here and take down his opponent. Now, what a lot of players really like about this map, at least with Terrans and Protoss for the most part, it does allow them for a little bit of a safer third base. That ridge area between the third and fourth base, it's a lot easier to cover in surface area. Now, Zergs, what they do like, because of this big ramp right here, they do like Roachling all in, Roachling pressures, because just it's such a big ramp, it's very widespread. There's a lot of potential for holes to be there. If not, it makes the Terrans, all of his production, a lot of his buildings placed right here at the front for him to pick off. Not exactly like one of those smaller ramps where only a couple buildings will be a nice little wall off. A chance for a lot more investment to get lost pretty quick. Now, as we see, Strelok does have the double racks up, so what he might be going for is a few early Marines. That's going to allow him to put a little bit of pressure on at third base that could be taken by Lowly, but at the moment not 100% sure, because we see a gas is out and running. Only mining with 2 drones versus the 3 drones, so it looks like he might just grab speed and say F it, gonna just drone up for the most part. Gonna invest into his economy more so. Now here we go, the first set of Marines coming out. He's gonna probably put down a bunker, I would hope. I would hope Strelok puts down a bunker. Might not, but I mean, again, he does have the full wall off at the main, so he won't have to worry about that too much. Yeah, and I feel like he's just going to put out a bunch of Marines. That's going to allow him to defend any early link pressures per se, and that's going to allow him to walk up and also put a lot of pressure at the third base. So Strelok asking for 1 second, and we're going to take a quick little pause here, so hang tight, don't go anywhere. We're going to actually put our overlay back up for just the time being, so hang tight. Oh, I'm so tired. Okay, there we go. We got the go from Lowly, and we're going to be back in the game. Strelok was kind of lagging from what it seems, kind of slowing down the game. Why are you slowing down the game? And I don't know why. I just control End and D and just turned off all my tabs. Yeah. Alright. Oh, Strelok. Snova Mish. So, Snova, for those who don't know, Snova, again, Snova is basically, again, Mish. I don't know if he's saying miss or second or minuto, or if he wants like a minute, so he's going to take another pause and we'll just hang out. It looks like Strelok is just kind of lagging at the moment, so we'll wait for him to hopefully solve that issue. And there we go, we got the go again. We're good to go. So here we go, game number 4 for those who missed out and they're just joining us. I'm FXOLowly, and this is the Ritmix RSL Season 3 Group A with Mana, Lowly, and Strelok. A little bit of team kill action going on here, guys, in the first set, as we have both FXO teammates, Lowly and Strelok, Right now, it looks like Strelok going to be heading up here with a little bit of a marine pressure. That spine actually doesn't even get canceled. Now, he's going to back up because there are two queens in place. He needs additional marine support, but he should be able to actually put on a good amount of DPS pressure before any additional links come out. Now, Lowly, again, for the third game in a row, is going to be going for this quick lair 2-base play, and that's going to make Strelok happy, and a lot of Terrans right now around the world are really happy when Zergs decide to go 2-base, because all they really have to worry about is either some sort of Roach Ling all-in, maybe a Muta timing, maybe some kind of Muta Bane Ling timing potentially as well. If they're able to hold that off, that really does put Terran in a pretty good position. Now the problem right now for Strelok, he's being a little bit sloppy at the moment. Supply block for the time being. He really needs to open himself out before any additional problems happen. Now what I have liked about Lowly the past however many games he's been playing, he always has a really nice wall off for the most part. As we saw, just unfortunate one game wasn't able to get his infestors out in time, but I mean with the queens and whatnot on Ohana, he was able to hold off, put a nice little wall which delayed the Blue Flame Hellions for quite a while. They had to focus down on the queens before they were actually able to get on in there, and the spine hacked at them and really dropped their numbers before they got too out of control. Now, as we take a look and see, the rocks are still not getting taken down for Lowly, so he's going to be sitting on this 2-base, getting quick infestors again. So might work a little bit better this time. It looks like Lowly is going to be, it looks like Strelok is going to be going for this bio style of play. He is right now not really showing too much to Lowly until an actual Overlord gets on in there, or an Overseer, as we see, is getting formed. He's not going to be able to exactly tell at the moment. He could predict that this maybe is Roach, but as we see, he's making the right decision, getting the melee 1 as well as the Carapace 1 attack upgrades. And now, there we go, with the Overseer, he's going to be able to spot and see everything going on. That poor Overseer is going to get shot down. But, it gets all the information it needs. Knows that now the Terran player is going to be for this going bio-mech style. If not, at least a pure bio style. Maybe even a timing push with these Hellions. And that's something he could actually do to try to beat some of these infestors, or at least try to put on a little bit of pressure and just not allow Lowly to be comfortable and continuously keep him on 2-base. Now, if I'm trying to be in the head of Lowly, what does he want to do? What does he want to think? Like, does he want to go for the Terran player? I'm going to assume he's going to try to go for the Terran player. He's going to go for burrow movement upgrade, and he's going to do a lot of this infestor harass that we've seen guys like Leenock, like Life do. Anytime they really do these 2-base type-esque builds. Now the problem is I don't see the infestors out just yet. There we go. The first 6 have popped out. And there we go, the Terran player is getting on in there. He stims. He does not have medevac, so these units will not be able to get healed. They will actually fall pretty quick to chain fungals if he's not carefully microing. Now here we go. One Evo chamber does fall down, which really does hurt the upgrades, but now there's no really defensive units out on the map for Lowly. He's actually going to have to pull his drones, and no, that is a very bad decision. He could just wait for the additional link support to pop out, but now he's pulling drones and losing a lot of his economy to do so, and without a third base established, all this is doing is really pitting Lowly in the later portions of the game. And as we take a look and see, 16 total drones have been killed by Strelok, and looking at the economy, 43 SCVs to 35 drones, and I'm going to assume, there we go, a third orbital already in place for Strelok. So good work by Strelok. Now what he has to do right now, Strelok has to be defensively positioning himself, and as we see, he's trying to get a nice little wall off before these infestors and lings do come there, because that could be a little bit of a problem, especially if the lings decide to go and put on a lot of pressure right now before the bunker comes up, before the additional units come out, and before the additional defenses come up. That could cause a little bit of a problem. Now he does need to back up with these marauders before they get fungled, and loses 1 infestor, loses 2 infestor, loses additional infestors in the process, so 3 total before actually any damage are going to be able to get done to the Terran player. As we see, tries to do a run by into the main, but that is going to be no dice for Lowly. And this is just kind of one of those series, man. Just nothing is really going right for Lowly. Trying to do these very safe 2-base builds, but not being safe in the end. Losing just way too much overall, and now we're going to watch and see the Strelok as he not only takes his 3rd base, but he's also going to be able to start transitioning into tanks and all the additional units. Now, what I want to really see for right now from Lowly is to actually double check, and from Strelok is to double check and see what that 3rd base timing is right now for Lowly, because he is quite a bit on the behind, I want to call it. I mean, he's still not behind. He has infestors out. He's got a good amount of units out. But right now, any type of pressure from the Terran player is going to really put Lowely in a vulnerable position. And now, as we see it, third base finally got taken already by Strelok a little bit quicker. Going to pull back on the SCVs until he could get the defenses there in time. And oh, what in the world happened? My mouse actually got caught up in the desk. KO. Strelok taking another pause at the moment. So Strelok is actually lagging at the moment. So for those that are wondering, what does that mean? Basically, he's asking what the hell is going on. Like, what's going on? He doesn't understand why he's lagging. So we're going to take another quick little pause and wait until he gets his issues figured out. Now, during the time, being, if you guys haven't checked me out, you guys can at Empire TV CHL. If you guys want, feel free to follow me on Twitch as well, Twitch TV/GSetLogic. Some of you guys are watching from the Team Liquid portal. Do feel free to jump into the Twitch TV URL. Feel free to kind of chat it up and chat if you want to if you want to call it, chat it up and chat a little bit, and yeah, I mean, the more the merrier. Okay, so reading what Strelok is saying, так вроде снова нормально, если я попрошу запустишь. So he's asking, he thinks everything is normal now. He might have to pause again potentially. Yeah, so there we go, doing a little bit of a translation. Yeah, and there we go. I mean, we got our whole entire, not only me, but we got our whole entire Russian team. No, I'll troll. I'll troll later. I'll troll later. I'll troll later. Alright, here we go, guys. So the game does continue on. All the pauses and everything have been finished up. As we see, we got a couple of the... I mean, sorry, not a couple. We got a good pack of the Terran units right now. We got Lings, we got Infestors, and there we go. Strelok actually asking for the pause right now. Alright, so we're going to be taking a nice little pause break at the moment, so hang tight. Or actually, this actually might be one of those first games where we might run out of pause breaks right now, so this is kind of funny. What's Pekka? Pekka is here. I'll actually put it in chat. I'll find a picture of it. It's this Russian troll. It's this Russian smiley face. I gotta have it. Pekka. It's basically like, it's kind of like a warm feeling. Like it's kind of like a little bit of a drunk Russian thing. Like you're warm. You're toasty. There we go. That's kind of like the smile. Like, you're toasty. If I get a chance, I'll like, in between games, I'll show it. So. We'll see. Alright, so here we go. We're going to be back in the game right now. This is kind of like one of those weird things when you're paused and you're all over the place. You're trying to recover and get yourself back mentally into the broadcast. You're kind of lost your train of thought. Now, as we see, Lowely did lose a little bit of an early Evo chamber, so he is behind on his... he was behind on his attack upgrade, so as we see, he's trying to get 2 Carapace. He's actually getting 3 Carapace, but only on 2 attack, when he could have potentially been on 3/3 right now. Now, for Strelok, he does have a really nice army. He's picking up additional Marine units. He's going to most likely start this drop play that Terrans need to do if they eventually decide to go into Biotank. So, and as we see, he's also adding additional production, kicking it in, and trying to get a 4th base. Now, Lowely did make a good decision, really expanding pretty quick over to this 4th base right now, because he does need that additional gas economy as well if he plans to stay in this game and be able to compete with the Terran army right now. Now, he could put on a lot of pressure if he wanted to go do any sort of run by. He could, of course, but that might be a little bit of a problem just because due to fighting in a lot of these choky areas, there's still not enough infestors. Even though they have quite a bit of energy, I would still wait for Adrenal to get finished for 3-3, or at least for 3 Carapace before he decides to do anything else, as well as Baneling speed. Now, the good news for him, this game we will see maybe some Brewlords come out as with the Greater Spire is just about done. So he's going to be able to get those late game units. So now we potentially might have this first opportunity right now. This might be that first game we're going to be able to see that late game tech coming out from Strelok and see what that's going to do for him. And maybe he'll even decide to go Ravens, because he does have 3 starports, 2 with the reactor, and then one's just kind of by themselves, no tech lab or anything on them. Now here we go, Lings are getting on here into the 4th base, will lose, but he's just trying to focus down right now as much as he can, and as we see, tank fire, splash damage is doing so much, able to, at this point, basically friendly firing his own units, unfortunately, so he will lose additional SCVs, but I don't know if Strelok is really too worried about it, as he is just trying to put on some pressure, maybe even free some supply up here in a moment. Now at the top left, what we did miss was that medevac that went up there was rallying, so it looks like one of these overlords did catch it, and the corruptions were able to get there in time. But here we go, in the middle of the map, we got a little bit of an engagement going on, and this is going to be actually terrible for Strelok. He's going to lose pretty much everything. He's going to have to land the Vikings to help out right now. The Banelings are rolling through. There's still so much energy and so much fungals that are out on the map that Lowly could utilize. And the supply is still in the lead of Strelok, but not without significant damage being done. Now all really Strelok has to do is just kind of back up. I mean, not Strelok, Lowly, all he has to do is really back up. Chain fungal a couple of these units, really weaken up some of these Vikings that are going to be involved in the air battle. And as we see, 2 medevacs getting taken out. He will back up, but now Lowly is sitting on a really nice, comfortable 4-base economy. Let's take a look and see 83 drones, 77 Lings, so he's going to actually just go for a huge counterattack right now with a big pack of Lings. I would suggest for Lowly probably maybe, you know what, he's popping out 9 Ultras right now, getting his Chittiest plating upgrade, and you know what, that might be a correct decision just due to the fact that there's quite a few Vikings, there's not a lot of ground units on the map, and the only defensive planetary is at the 4th base. If there is any way that Lowly could make this attack successful, which there's a really high chance of doing, so he's actually going to be able to most likely overrun Strelok, as he's got a lot of Vikings out on the map, and that's not something he wants. If we take a look and see at his vision, right now, this is all right now what Strelok does see. This is all he knows about. He doesn't know about the Ultras, Cavern, he doesn't know about any other tech. He's only preparing right now for Broodlord Corruptor play, and that might be a little bit of his downfall in the end. And plus, only 3 attack finishing up, 2 siege weapons isn't even there yet for him, 3 armors a long ways away. Meanwhile, the Zerg player just basically brings the heart of the swarm right now to his front doorstep, and I mean, what can he do? Not a lot. And as we see now, here come the Ultras, and the Banelings are still rolling in here doing really wonderful support. I mean, the Ultras are doing a great job of soaking up just so much of the damage. Now, good micro from Strelok. He's actually doing a wonderful job using these Marauders and using some of these chokes up at the ramps, and actually forcing Lowly to lose quite a bit of his Ultra list. Oh my god. That actually went very in favor of Strelok. Strelok didn't lose actually as much of his economy as I thought he did. Let's bring up our tab again, and as we see, his 4th base is still mining. He's got the macro orbital right now for him to utilize, and I mean, Lowly might have this base, but this could be an open timing right now for Strelok if he wanted to hit that. Now, the good news for him, able to clear up a little bit of creep. He does need to bring a couple of these poor little hero Vikings that are sitting on the map. 3 armor about halfway done for his bio units, as well as his mech attack upgrade number 2 just about to finish up. 3 melee, 1 defensive Carapace for air is about to finish up, as well as 1 missile attack, so that's actually interesting. Missile attack, so he's getting all the upgrades that he possibly can. Not really hitting his injects that much anymore, but again, he's got so much larva from all the additional hatches that are across the map, he doesn't really have to worry about it. And as we see, the Zerg mineral economy is just doing wonderful. Could always produce a quick amount of Lings whenever he needs to, but his problem, he does need an additional gas economy. He does need there we go, take his 7th and 8th gas on the map, maybe even his 9th and 10th as well, in which he is, so that's good that he plans to do that. Now here we go, drop incoming right now from the Terran player Strelok. FXOStrelok, but he's going to have to lift up a lot of these units, and oh my god, I don't understand that. He actually drops a lot of orange and red health units. Should have actually healed them up just a tiny bit. Unfortunately, this all will get cleaned up because of the corruptors in place. The medevacs are not able to escape, and a little bit of a supply dump, if you want to call it, a little bit of a dump right now from Strelok. But on the backside right now, at the front, at the natural, trying to do as much damage as possible right here. Chain Fungal is really hurting right now. The Terran player, a couple fungals doing so much damage, and this drop does get thwarted. Now, I'm not 100% sure I agree with this drop right now in the natural, just due to the fact, unless he actually focuses down that infestation pit, he's not going to be able to do a lot of damage. With creep, of course, Lily's going to be able to move really quick across the map. If any infestors in play, every unit's going to be able to get held up. So, might as well have gone into the main and try to do some kind of tech damage. Maybe go for the Hive and the Greater Spire, or at least knock down that infestation pit. Now, let's take a really quick look at the units tab. As we see, 11 infestors are out on the map. I have actually zero clue where the hell they are. Well, one's over here. There they are. There's all the infestors right there sitting there. So again, now additional units are coming in here to defend a drop, and at this point, I mean, doing a good job of spreading out the Zerg, but eventually the Zerg player is going to want to overrun the Terran player, get some map control ahead across the map. Now here we go, good scan. This is going to clear out the rest of the creep that's on the map right now for Lowly that leads up into the natural. This queen's going to get picked off as well, and these creep tumors are not going to be able to finish. Basically, one creep tumor really keeping this little chain alive. A lot of vision loss as well. That's kind of a big part of the creep. It also gives you good vision, not only that speed advantage as a Zerg. Now Lowly also has a couple burrowedlings all over the place, so he's able to see and know what's going on. Beautiful scan by Strelok. Knew that something was kind of in the way, so he scans and able to pick off that infestor as well. But here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Here comes Lowly right down the Terran's throat, leading with the Lings and the Banelings as well. Here come the infestors and the Ultras as well. They're going to be able to take up so much of the damage, and I mean, additional fungals are going to clear the rest of this out if it hasn't already. And there we go. This is what we're talking about, just the grit and the strength of the Zerg army. Even though he falls behind in supply, he should have the capability to remax pretty quick right now if he ever needed to. Well, I mean, not even remax, but just be able to actually produce. And he's decided to get 12 ultras as his tech change. So very interesting decision. And oh my God, one fungal will actually catch so many of these SCVs. Oh! Lowly deciding not to fungal any of the units. Go for that 5th base right now. Finish that off. I mean, it's just going to be a really uphill battle for Strelok. There's not a lot he could really do right now. This ultra combination with this Ling is going to be more than enough to take everything out. I mean, here comes the additional drop-in of Infestitarians and the DPS, the 9.3 DPS of the Infestitarians, able to knock it down, just burrows and gets on out of there. And as we see, yeah, I mean, cancel from Strelok goes from adding additional barracks to understanding that he needs an additional base right now, putting up that orbital, and I mean, has a good amount of gas, but as we see, really struggling to get that mineral count up high to produce enough of those units. Now here we go with the 2 air attack. These Banshees are actually going to do quite a bit. I do like the decision to actually put out a couple of these on the map. They're going to really help out against the Ultras and against some of the Infestors. They're going to draw out quite a few more fungals. Now what we're seeing a little bit more different now, we're actually going to be able to see some Ravens, and maybe this is going to be one of those games where we finally get to test out the new Raven patch update, where the Seeker Missile is not an upgrade. It's actually just there as it is. The Terran player just needs to get enough units. So 2 Ravens are popping out, and we're going to see how he utilizes those. And I mean, I do like that, but I'm not sure how it's really going to work against this huge chunk of Ultras that's heading down across the map. And there you go, man. He's going for it. So Lowly heading into the 5th base. Sees that there's nothing there and just going to charge over right here into the 4th. And this could be a little bit of a problem because there's quite a few tanks and a lot of 3-3 Marauders. Now, this base will most likely get chomped down. The DPS is just, way too high, but decides to pull back. Again, it could get replaced by the orbital that's in place. So, Lowly is making the smart decision, just backing off for the time being. And I mean, this is kind of still one of those tricky situations in the engagement department, because Lowly doesn't want to exactly throw this game off. He does have a nice lead. He is sitting right now on 6 bases. Just regathered his 5th base up as well from the drop, as well as grabbed a 7th, 8th base. No, 7th base on the map. So Wow, I mean, this is kind of one of those cool late games that we rarely get to see, but I mean, look at that. Broodlord's getting morphed, and I mean, this is kind of one of those fun parts for Zerg, the one of every unit. You got to be a little bit careful. The Marines are pushing out kind of across the map. One of these Ravens should have enough for a Seeker missile soon if he's careful enough. And oh, beautiful fungal, good catch. The infested Terran eggs are going to form, and this is actually going to be one thrown away Raven for just one fungal and a 5 infested Terran eggs. So great, great trade for Lowly. Good little micro. Love it, love it, love it. Now a drop is coming down here from the south side over to Lowly from Strelok, but that's going to be held off again. No problem. One fungal, infested Terran eggs are popping out. The high DPS and the upgrades able to knock that medevac out of the park as well. And I mean, it's kind of one of those things right now. Strelok is just kind of falling further and further behind as we see a booming economy for a Zerg. Strelok is very, very turtley at the moment and just sitting back as best as possible, trying to max out with as strong of an army. We do see additional Ravens are now out on the map, but none of them have enough energy right now for a Seeker missile. And that's one of those things, man. Maybe that's the next thing. Maybe bring down the Raven energy just a tiny bit for the Terran players, because I mean, Seeker missile, even without an upgrade, still takes just so long to actually get because of the energy gathering. So here come the Broodlords leading the pack. Some of the Vikings getting involved right into them, but they're going to get chain fungled as they are right now. Now Ravens are coming on in here. First Seeker missile getting dropped. Does he have enough for another one? He does, and drops both Seeker missiles. The Ultralights are coming on in here, but they actually will get cleared out due to the stim units, plus all the tank splash fire and the 2 attack Banshees. This is actually so smart, the composition by Strelok. But again, another quick max out by Lowly, getting 92 links, 7 ultras, 12 banelings, as well as getting 2 missile attack, plus the 3 carapace shields for his air units. Pretty sure on that. Pretty sure. As we see also now Lowly getting his 3 starport attack, if I'm not mistaken, or is that no? That's 3 starport attack, right? Yeah, that's 3 air weapons. So good decision by him, and oh, good catch right there by Strelok, able to catch a lot of these units. The infested Terrans are going to do quite a bit of damage, but not before the bio army able to clear most of that out. So not only catching a couple of the infested, but Strelok just doing such a beautiful job really fighting back into this game. Doing a good job. He's got still all those Vikings around in case the Broodlord Corruptor transition comes. He still has all the Ravens as well if he wants to throw down additional Seeker missiles. And this could be one of those situations where you might want to throw down the Seeker missiles on all the Banelings just to get rid of them, but it doesn't look like he's got enough, and due to lack of siege, all these units will get swallowed up, and unfortunately all the anti-air really doesn't help against the Ultras, the Lings, and the Banelings unless he actually has Banshees around, and Strelok potentially could take quite a big hit right now. Just rolling in, trying to take that economy out, and there we go, all that 4th base, 5th base economy gone. 5th base has disappeared, forced to lift at the 6th base. 7th base is getting built, but we'll get probably a forced cancel if I'm not mistaken. And I mean, what can really Strelok do at the moment if, in fact, Lowly can just keep remaxing, can keep just putting on pressure? And again, beautiful micro with the Ultras bringing them back, pushing them forward. And again, now it is that anti-air army. And again, he can't land the Vikings because if he lands the Vikings, they will get shredded by the Ultras very fast, and it wouldn't be a very efficient trade for Strelok or worth it for him unless it was a last-ditch effort. Now here we go, more drops, are not drops, but actually doing a good job utilizing the Vikings, coming up here towards this 6th base from what it looked to be. Able to do some damage, not only that, but take out a hatch. A good fungal by Lowly, catching some of these Vikings on the return route. But Lowly's still sitting very comfortably as we see good mineral count, good gas count. Strelok unfortunately cannot say the same as we take a look and see. The natural almost all mined out, including its gas on the last 20. The main completely mined out. The 3rd completely mined out. Even one of the gases at the 3rd. So all the gases right now at the main, 3rd, and natural are all gone. And I mean, little Strelok is kind of starving for a little bit of a miracle play right now, and now that these Lings are knocking down all these supply depots as well, that's it's gonna kind of supply block him for just a tiny bit if he intends to max out, but only also just trying to defend all of his production. One of the problems as a Terran player is when the Zerg or the Protoss can start camping your production, it's gonna be very hard to handle what he's trying to do. Now, he's going for the guesses. He's going for some of the units. I mean, every little bit counts again. If you take out, who knows if this turns into be some kind of base trade situation, that all those gases and additional simulators that got taken out are going to matter, but these burrowlings are kind of just a pain in the butt. And as we see, unburrows them and now going right for that natural. Strelok not paying attention, loses that. And now here comes the huge problem. All the production will get camped, and whatever Strelok has right here, this is what Strelok is going to have to live with. As we see, the Marauders are really pressing back a lot of these infestors, but I mean, as we see so many red health Vikings, we see some tanks, the counterattack over at the 5th base able to take out whatever it needed, and now we see just these lings are really being heinous nuisance, and now I mean they're camping the production. So Strelok gonna have to live with this army. A lot of red Vikings on the ground. One fungal will take them out. There's quite a few medevacs, so the bio units will be able to almost actually have their own personal healer. The tanks do help out as well with the DPS, but at this point, you know, Lowely's sitting here. He's got to say, man, I've got this game. I could force this game 5 right now. I just need to play patient. Oh well, if I lose the 6th and 7th base, who cares? We'll be alright. I've still got this 5th base up right now. I'm still mining from the 4th base. All I need to do is just utilize these infestors very carefully, fungal as best as possible, and I've got this game under wraps. Because as we see, looking at the main, everything's getting lost, guys. So everything is getting taken out. Now, Strelok trying to siege up and trying to focus fire a lot of these infestors, but a lot of these infested Terran eggs are in place right now at the moment. Good siege position for Lowely at the moment over here. I mean, for Strelok right now, really taking a pot shot at Lowely's 5th base, taking out a lot of his economy. But again, this is what we're talking about. Strelok losing just way too much right now, losing all of his supply depots completely, side block to hell, losing additional structures as well. So he needs to actually make sure he's got something lifted. That way he could actually stay in this game. If anything, at least lift the factory, lift his barracks that it's in full health. This one's burning down, so he's not going to have a lot of opportunity in a base trade situation. So here we go. Strelok trying to take, but losing my voice, ladies and gentlemen. Strelok trying to take position, but it looks like Lowely's going to just overrun him with lings, infestors, and ultras, and that is the rest of Strelok's army. No way to reproduce, no way to continue this game, and GG's out. Tied up 2-2. We're going to be going to a game number 5. So there we have it, ladies and gentlemen. What an awesome series. We're going to be going to game number 5 in just a moment, so hang tight. I'm Cheesehead Logic, and this is the Ritmix Season 3 Group A with Mana, Strelok, and